Hello, hello. Um, let's talk about. My name is Carlos. Let's talk about um, Bitcoin's energy problem. And I want to read you a few things to illustrate what a problem it is. Um, I was under the assumption that the blockchain process was efficient, but in the case of Bitcoin, this technology is very quickly becoming antiquated. Um, so let me read this. And I'll put all the links in the description box. A global problem. Blockchain's energy consumption is a very real problem. It's easy to think of emerging technology as clean and energy efficient by default, but the reality is that the computational power needed to run a blockchain is huge. So huge, in fact, that finding cleaner solutions has quickly shot to the top of the to do list for the field. The proof of work mechanism for Bitcoin alone uses the same amount of energy that a country like Switzerland uses in a year, for example. Bitcoin already accounts for 1.5% of the total electricity consumed in the United States, and we are still a long way away from it actually being used as a currency. There will be no functional blockchain without efficient scalability, not unless we want one of our most exciting industries to be one of our most environmentally disastrous. So, those are strong words there. Environmentally disastrous. And this is actually a pro Bitcoin article. Moving right along. Basically, on the network, you have your nodes and you have your miners. And I have to think there's just a tremendous amount of miners across the globe. But it's difficult to get those numbers. Let me read this. Miners need constant access to nodes to pick up a new transaction data and also find the preceding block's hash. Miners, in addition to mining, can also set up their own nodes, and almost every miner has a local node set up. After mining is complete, the miner sends the transaction info to all the transactions mined with, along with the new block to all nodes. The information is relayed from node to reach all nodes. Miners get a transaction fee from users as a reward for securing transactions, while the system also rewards them with bitcoins that are generated anew with the creation of every new block. Now, so basically, miners are competing. So, um, miners are competing to get that Bitcoin, and they're competing, to audit those transactions and have them submitted to the blockchain. So that's why there's uh, tons of miners and more coming online. And you can buy mining equipment from Walmart. So it's a very, very popular thing to do. Now, I wanted to look at this article, and this is the famous Ars Technica article, Bitcoin's Insane Energy Consumption Explained. Let me read this. The Bitcoin network consumes massive amounts of energy. The process that generates new Bitcoins while maintaining the network's shared transaction ledger is a secretive global industry. No one knows exactly how much energy it consumes. So nobody knows. And then there's another article, and this is a pro Bitcoin article, and but even they are admitting, what a problem it is. So McCook refutes the idea that Bitcoin is an environmental disaster as claimed by certain people. He claims that Bitcoin is dramatically less harmful to the environment than the gold mining industry. McCook, however, does admit that energy costs per Bitcoin transaction are unruly, especially when volume of transactions, about 7 per second, are considered in the context of the total power being used by the network. This is a crucial point. We're spending a huge amount of money and energy running the Bitcoin network, and in the end, we've created a network that can only process 7 transactions per second. So it's ludicrous when you think about it. All this computational power, some estimates state that it's consuming 0.5% of all the world's energy, and the final result is you can only get a maximum of 7 transactions per second. So highly inefficient. It's a big problem. They're addressing it, and I'll make some more videos on the topic, but I thought it was interesting information and I wanted to get it out. So I appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you soon.